All right, so get ready, because today we are going on a deep dive into something really fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about astrology
Okay.
and the law of one.
Interesting combination.
So buckle up, because we're going to explore how planetary shifts, the ones that everyone's always buzzing about,
Yeah.
might actually be like powerful tools for personal growth and evolution.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
It's an intriguing intersection, isn't it?
Mm,
You've got this ancient system of astrology
right.
full of symbolism and meaning,
Yeah.
and then the law of one, which, was channeled in the 1980s,
Uh-huh.
talking about a unified consciousness connecting, well, everything in the universe.
I mean, we've got some really cool stuff to look at today, right?
Absolutely.
We've got these historical accounts of how people used astrology way back when.
Mm-hmm.
We've got excerpts from the Law of One material itself.
Yes.
And we even have some modern-day guides,
Mhm.
like to help us connect the dots. I think what I'm really curious about is, can we actually UE these insights to make sense of our lives,
Yeah.
on a practical level?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're here to explore.
Okay.
We'll see if astrology and the law of one can kind of work together to help us understand how those cosmic energies, especially those planetary alignments,
Right.
might be influencing our personal journeys.
Okay, so before we get, too deep into the cosmos,
Yeah.
let's set the stage a bit.
Okay.
For those who might be new to this, the Law of One basically suggests that we're all part of this, giant interconnected web of consciousness.
Yeah.
Everything is linked, us, the planets, the whole universe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And within that framework, I think astrology becomes less about, predicting specific events.
Right.
And more about understanding the energetic influences that are at play.
Yeah.
It's like the planets are these massive tuning forks, right?
Interesting.
And their vibrations are affecting us.
On a very subtle level.
So it's not like
Yeah.
Mercury's in retrograde,
Right.
so hide under the covers.
Exactly.
It's more about being aware of the energy and working with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, to kind of kick things off with a little historical perspective,
Yeah.
did you know that way back in the 17th century, in New Spain, which is, what's now Mexico, astrology was a huge GE deal?
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Mainstream popular?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Universities even had astrology departments.
Wow.
And people would consult astrologers for everything
Really?
from, predicting the weather to making political decisions.
I mean, that's so different from how it's often viewed today.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even back then, there was a bit of pushback,
Oh, really?
particularly from the Catholic Church,
Interesting.
who saw astrology as challenging the idea of free will.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
If you believe that everything's fated.
Then what's the point of even, trying to change anything, right?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this tension between, free will and predestination, this
Mhm.
is a concept that comes up in the law of one as well.
But how can we have free will
Yeah.
if we're all connected in this, web of consciousness?
Right.
Like the law of one suggests.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that imply that there's at least some level of influence
Yeah.
from those planetary energies?
That's the paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
The law of one emphasizes our interconnectedness,
Mhm.
but it also stresses the importance of individual choice.
Okay.
It's like we're all actors in this grand cosmic play, right?
Uh-huh.
But we get to choose how we deliver our lines.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these pieces kind of fit together.
Good.
So if we take the law of one's perspective that everything is connected,
Right.
even, seemingly inanimate objects
Mm-hmm.
could be influenced by this web of consciousness.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And this leads us to a passage in the law of one material.
That I find particularly intriguing.
Okay.
It talks about how the pyramids were built using the forces of one,
Mm-hmm.
and that the stones themselves are alive.
Wait, hold up. Alive?
Yeah.
The pyramids are conscious beings.
It's a very interesting concept.
It's blowing my mind a little bit.
It is. It's definitely a concept that challenges our conventional understanding of reality.
Sure.
But the law of one suggests that the pyramids were created as a kind of technology for harnessing cosmic energy,
Wow.
potentially influenced by planetary alignments.
Okay.
And so it begs the question, if these massive structures
Yeah.
can be imbued with this kind of life force,
Yeah.
could our personal energy also be affected
Right.
by those same alignments?
That's a really interesting question.
It is.
Okay, I need a minute to, like, process all this.
Take your time. It's a lot to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're pondering that, consider this.
The law of one also describes something called the energy body.
Okay.
It's like our physical body, but it's made of this subtle energy
Mm-hmm.
with centers called chakras.
Right. I've heard about chakras.
Yes?
They're like energy vortexes
Yeah.
that correspond to different aspects of our being, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And here's where things get really fascinating.
All right.
These chakras, they can be influenced by various factors,
Mhm.
including the movements of planets.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
when Mars is doing its thing in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
it might be affecting my root chakra, which is all about like feeling grounded and secure.
You got it.
Okay.
Different planets are associated with different chakras and different energies.
Okay.
For example, Mars, the planet of action and drive,
Okay.
is often linked to the root chakra,
Okay.
while Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is connected to the heart chakra.
Okay, this is starting to click for me.
Good.
So if I'm like feeling a bit scattered or ungrounded,
Yeah.
maybe it's a good time to check like what Mars is up to in my birth chart
Yeah.
and see if there's, anything I can do to like work with that energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a great way to apply this knowledge.
Yeah.
It's not about letting the planets dictate your life,
Right.
but about using this awareness
Mhm.
to make conscious choices
Yeah.
that align with your highest good.
This is all so fascinating.
It is.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
If these planetary alignments
Yeah.
can have such a like positive impact,
Uh-huh.
can they also bring challenges?
That's a great question. And that's actually something we're going to delve into more deeply
Okay.
as we continue our exploration.
Okay.
But I can tell you this.
All right.
The law of one suggests that challenges are opportunities for growth and learning.
I'm ready to learn more.
Great.
What other like fascinating insights can we uncover
Well, let's see.
by connecting astrology and the law of one?
Yeah. It's interesting, we were just talking about challenges and opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
The law of one source material actually mentions some pretty intense challenges
Mhm.
that the channelers themselves faced,
Wow.
partly due to what they described as like a negative influence
Okay.
from a fifth dimensional entity.
Whoa, a fifth dimensional entity.
Yeah.
Okay. That definitely adds a layer of like complexity to things.
It does.
But I guess it also kind of makes sense considering,
Yeah.
the law of one talks about this vast web of consciousness with all sorts of beings and energies interacting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It really highlights that duality we were talking about earlier, that
Mhm.
interplay of positive and negative, light and shadow,
Yeah.
that seems to be kind of woven into the fabric of our reality.
So it's not all rainbows and unicorns in this cosmic dance, huh?
Not always, no.
But how do we like navigate that duality?
Yeah.
How can we tell if a particular planetary alignment is bringing like,
Right.
positive or challenging energy?
That's where discernment comes in. The law of one really encourages us to cultivate awareness
Mhm.
and to really listen to our intuition.
Yeah.
It's about tuning into the subtle vibrations of these energies
Mhm.
and noticing how they resonate with our own being.
Okay, but how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we can just like call up the planets and ask them what's up, right?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
But we can use tools like astrology to gain insights into those planetary energies.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about how different planets are associated with the different chakras,
Yeah,
like Mars in the root chakra, Venus in the heart chakra.
Right. Mhm.
Well, each planet also has its own unique set of characteristics
Mhm.
and like archetypal energies.
Yeah.
For example, Mars is associated with action, drive, assertion, even aggression.
Yeah.
Venus, on the other hand, is all about love, harmony, beauty, connection.
So if Mars is prominent in the sky,
Yeah.
it might be a good time to tackle those projects that require like a lot of energy and focus,
Uh-huh.
but maybe not the best time to like have a sensitive conversation
Exactly.
with a loved one.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about understanding the nuances of these energies
Mm.
and using that knowledge to make conscious choices.
Okay.
And here's another layer to consider,
Right.
the concept of astrological aspects.
Aspects.
Yes.
Okay, this is where I start to feel like I need an astrology dictionary.
Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
Basically, aspects are the angular relationships
Okay.
between planets in your birth chart
Mm-hmm.
or in the current sky.
Okay.
And these angles, they create different energetic dynamics.
Okay.
Some are harmonious, supporting smooth flow and ease,
Right.
while others are more challenging,
Yeah.
creating friction or tension.
So it's like the planets are having a conversation with each other.
That's a great analogy.
And like the angles of that conversation determine like
Yeah. The tone of the interaction.
exactly.
Mhm.
And by understanding those aspects, we can get a deeper sense of how the planetary energies are interacting
Right.
and how they might be impacting our lives.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense.
Good.
But it can feel a bit overwhelming, like
Right.
trying to track all these planetary movements and aspects.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, a good place to start
Yeah.
for someone who's, like, just beginning to explore this.
One of the most valuable tools you have is your own birth chart.
Okay.
It's like a cosmic blueprint
Right.
that shows the positions of the planets at the exact moment you were born.
Right, like my cosmic fingerprint.
Exactly.
I've actually had my birth chart done before,
Okay.
but it was a bit much to, like, take in all at once.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
A good place to start is by focusing on the planets
Okay.
that are most prominent in your chart, especially those that aspect key points,
Okay.
like your sun, moon, or ascendant. Okay, back up a sec.
Yeah.
What's an ascendant?
Ah, good question.
Yeah.
It's the sign that was rising
Okay.
on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth.
Yeah.
And it represents your outward personality, how you present yourself to the world.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
So, like, if I have a strong Mars in my chart,
Uh-huh.
maybe that explains why I'm, like, always so driven and ambitious.
It's possible.
Oi?
Mars is the planet of action and drive, so it makes sense that it would kind of manifest
Right.
in your personality.
Okay, so I can, like, look at my birth chart
Yes.
to get a sense of my own personal planetary energies,
Uh-huh.
but how do I connect that with what's happening in the sky? Like, right, NW.
That's where things get even more dynamic. As the
Okay.
planets move through the zodiac, they form different aspects to the planets in your birth chart,
Right.
creating what we call transits.
Transits.
Yes.
Like when Saturn's, like, giving me the side eye
Right.
because it's, like, squaring my sun. You got it.
Oh.
And these transits, they can bring about significant periods of growth, change, and sometimes, well, challenges.
Right.
But remember, the law of one reminds us
Yeah.
that those challenges are opportunities to learn and evolve.
So it's like the planets are like nudging us to pay attention to certain areas of our lives, maybe pushing us out of our comfort zones a bit.
Exactly.
Okay.
And by understanding those transits, we can work with those energies consciously.
Right.
Rather than feeling like we're being kind of tossed around by fate.
This is all starting to feel really empowering.
Good, I'm glad.
Like we actually have some agency
Yes, you do.
in how we navigate these cosmic currents.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's not about surrendering to some, predetermined destiny.
Right.
But about using this knowledge to make conscious choices that align with our highest purpose.
I'm totally on board with this like cosmic empowerment thing.
But let's be real.
Okay.
Sometimes those planetary transits, they hit hard.
They do.
Got any like tips on how to handle those rough patches with grace?
Yeah,
Rather than ending up in a cosmic meltdown.
for sure.
Okay, so we're back, and I am ready to like wrap up our cosmic journey through this fascinating intersection of astrology and the law of one.
I know it's been quite the ride so far.
It really has. I mean, we've explored some pretty deep concepts from like this interconnected web of consciousness
Yes,
to the subtle influences of planetary energies.
we did.
I mean, we even like ventured into the realm of fifth dimensional entities
Right.
and challenging astrological aspects.
Yeah, but remember, even in the face of those challenges,
right.
the law of one really emphasizes the power of choice. It suggests that we always have the ability to align with love and wisdom even when things get tough.
Okay, but sometimes those planetary transits just feel like they're throwing shade
Right.
directly at my soul.
I understand.
How can we like handle those cosmic curveballs in a way that promotes growth rather than, a complete meltdown?
One of the key teachings in the law of one is the discipline of personality.
Okay.
It's essentially about mastering our thoughts and emotions,
Yeah.
becoming more aware of our reactions,
Right.
and consciously choosing responses that align with our highest good.
So it's like instead of getting swept away by those intense emotions
Yeah.
that those challenging transits can trigger,
Right.
we can kind of use those moments as opportunities to practice self-awareness
Exactly.
and make more conscious choices.
That's the idea.
Okay.
It's about developing a sense of inner peace and stability. That's not dependent on external circumstances.
But how do we actually do that? I mean, it's easy to say stay calm and centered
Yeah.
when everything's going smoothly.
Right.
But when those cosmic storms hit, it can feel like all bets are off.
That's where practices like, meditation,
Okay.
mindfulness, self-reflection come in.
Yeah.
These tools can really help us cultivate
Mm-hmm.
that inner space of stillness and clarity where
Right.
we can actually observe our thoughts and emotions
Right.
without getting swept away by them.
Okay, so it's about creating a kind of a buffer zone between those external triggers
Yeah.
and our internal reactions.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The more we practice, the stronger that buffer zone becomes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like building a cosmic shield that
Mhm.
can deflect those negative energies.
Yes.
I like the sound of that.
It's a good visualization.
A cosmic shield. But I'm also remembering something else we talked about earlier, that we're not meant to do this alone.
Right.
The law of one emphasizes the importance of community and connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are all in this together.
Right.
And sharing our experiences, supporting each other,
Right.
learning from each other's journeys. It
Yeah.
can make a huge difference.
It's like having a cosmic support system, right?
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of support systems, um, I'm curious about something else mentioned in the law of one,
Okay.
service to others.
Yeah.
How does that fit into this whole picture
Right.
of astrology and personal evolution?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The law of one suggests that service to others is an essential part of our spiritual growth.
Okay.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness
Right.
and using our unique gifts and talents
Mm-hmm.
to contribute to the well-being of all.
So it's not just about focusing on our own
Right.
personal growth and evolution.
Mhm.
We're meant to expand outward to share our light with the world.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing is
Yeah.
that when we focus on serving others, our own personal evolution accelerates.
I mean, that's awesome.
It's a win-win situation.
I love that. It's like a cosmic feedback loop of positivity.
Yes.
The more we give, the more we grow,
Uh-huh.
and the more we have to offer.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Any final thoughts for our listeners before we send them back out into the cosmos?
Well, I think the most important takeaway from both astrology and the law of one is this. You have more power than you realize.
Okay.
You have the power to choose your thoughts, your actions,
Right.
and your responses to the energies around you.
That's such an empowering message.
It is.
So it's not about letting the planets dictate our lives,
Right.
but about using this knowledge to become more conscious,
Right.
more aware, and more aligned with our highest purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, the journey of self-discovery and spiritual evolution is ongoing.
Right.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, and more ways to grow.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And remember, fellow knowledge seekers, this isn't just about gathering information.
Right.
It's about putting it into practice, about making choices
Yeah.
that align with love, wisdom, and service to others.
I agree.
Right.
As you continue your journey,
Yeah.
look up at the night sky with a sense of wonder and connection. Those twinkling stars are a reminder that we're all part of something.
Yeah.
Vast and magnificent.
Right.
And the possibilities for growth and evolution are truly limitless.
Until our next cosmic adventure,
Yes.
keep seeking, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
Absolutely.